Hello YouTube, got some more parts for the 80 Trans Am. We got the BTR Equalizer Intake. The truck intake works fine. It's just ugly. And I think this will work better for us. Now this intake operates between 6,000 and 8,000 RPM. It's a short runner. But once we get going, it never sees under 6,000 RPM. 6,000 to 8,000. Is that what I said? But yeah, we shifted about, I don't know. Even if you shifted it at 65, it don't drop below 6,000. But that's just with the sloppy stage 2 cam that's in it now. We're going to put a bigger cam in it. And then we'll be shifting at 7,500. And that intake will really shine at that RPM, I think. And we got this throttle body. Now there are some ports on this thing that we either have to plug or use. So there's these ports in the back. There's that port right there. Well, that's not a port. Never mind. That one's solid. But there's this port right here too.
And sometimes on these intakes, there's a really big port that needs plugged on the bottom of the intake. But for some reason, this one don't have that. And I've seen these equalizer intakes with that, so I don't know.
So we're going to figure out which ones we're going to use and then plug the rest. And I'm pretty sure we only use one of them, which would probably be this big one. That generally goes to the brake booster. Oddly enough, even though we have the power assisted brakes that's supposed to have vacuum to it, we don't run the vacuum to it because it causes a vacuum leak. That's brand new. I know it don't look like it, but it's not that old. Chris put that on there not too long ago, and it's got a vacuum leak already. But we're going to switch to manual brakes eventually. But believe it or not, the brakes work better without the vacuum. It's probably because it's got a leak. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and plug all these holes. See, that's a fake hole too. Yeah. We're going to plug all these holes except for this one. We're going to use that one. It does come with some fittings. And the rest of them we're just going to get plugs for. And we're going to use some Teflon tape on the threads, of course, because these are MPT threads. All right, and it comes with these bolts. I don't know, about 2 inches long, and they had a washer. So I'm just sticking all those. I'm assuming those are the intake bolts. And these use this, but there's a gasket in here. I need to make sure that gasket's in there. So they left 2 of them in just to hold it all together. So we're going to take that out and make sure that gasket's on inside there. I guess they have it like that so you can take the top off and port it. I don't know why else it would be like that. And it came with a throttle body gasket, 4-bolt. But yeah, let's take this off. I took the 2 bolts out. They had one there and one up here. See what the gasket looks like. And it does not have the gasket in it. So I'm glad I looked at that. I found another bag in there. So one of these is that gasket. And then the other one are these gaskets. So these smaller round ones, those are definitely the intake gaskets that go in there. And this long one is the intake gasket. I don't like that. I wish they would have made that to fit. I bet we're going to have to cut some of this. All right, we snaked her all around there, pushed it in. You can only push it in so far with your finger. But as I expected, it was going to be too long. See? I'm going to go see if I can't find some directions on that, because if you don't cut that just right, you're going to have a leak right there. I wonder if you're supposed to use silicone or anything there. There ain't no directions on the box, I don't think. Let's look more. Well, there are directions. Intake manifold lid O-ring cord. No need for additional sealant. O-ring cord supplied is longer than needed. cut and spliced to fit properly. We'll have to be real careful here, because if we cut that too short, you're gonna leak vacuum. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I'm gonna put it right beside it, like that right there, and then cut straight down, right, just to the right of this other one. Actually, if I do it right in the middle, when I put it back over, it'll be too long, but I'm gonna go right where my thumb's at. All right, look at that. I think that'll work. Once you put the lid on it and smash that down, yeah, I think that's good there. All right, I put the bolts in, and I had an extra bolt. I'm assuming that's going to be for I'm going to assume that's the map sensor bracket. I'm going to assume, but we'll see in a little bit. Let's tighten these down. I don't know what the torque is on them. I'm going to snug them up for now. I'm just going to do a crisscross pattern. I'm going to snug them up. I'm going to go here, there, there, there. You know, crisscross. We'll go there, 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 there. On this first pass, I'm just going to snug them up. I'll snug them up, and then I'll do another pass a little bit tighter, and then I'll figure out what the torque is on them, and then we'll do the final pass with the torque. So it's 89 inch-pounds, and they have the torque pattern. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just pretty much the same thing I did. And I just kept snugging these up in the pattern that I showed you. And every time I came back to the first one, it was loose. But now I got it to where I just snugged them up. Now, and when I came back to this one wasn't snug no more. But we'll do the 89 inch-pounds now. All right, there we go. We're at 89. That's the 90 right there. All right, here we go. We'll probably go through it a couple of times. And ta-da, that's on. So back here, we're only going to use this one big port. So we're going to cap the rest of those and cap that one. So up there it says map location number 1, LS1 sizing, not machined for use, which would be the one on the front. Turn the slide off. So this one's not machined. It's all blocked off. So we don't have to put nothing in that one. Yeah. It's all blocked off. And then back here, it says map 2 and map 3 location. Map location 2, machine for use. Number 3, not machine for use. So we don't have to worry about that bottom one. We can put a map sensor. We do have a 3-bar map sensor. We just don't use it because we're running the Haltech Rebel, and it's using the it just uses a vacuum line for boost and stuff. But let's go ahead and put this one in this hole. We'll get some Teflon tape to put on there. Now, I did put the map sensor on there and I did plug it in, but we don't use it. But I think I'll do the same thing on this intake. We'll just put it in, we just won't use it. It just ain't using it, it's just plugged in. But in case we ever want to use the map sensor, all we got to do is switch it in the tune. All right, I'll put some Teflon tape on her. Just going to use this and tighten her up. We want it to face that way. So unfortunately, with that in there, our map sensor don't fit. So I'm going to cut the ears off of it. So a pair of dikes to quick work of them tabs, and it goes in there now. So there ain't no directions how that goes on there, but that's the only way I could think it goes on there. So I didn't cut the tabs off this side. The bolt went right down in between them, and then that grabs on the ledge there. Yes, sir. It ain't going nowhere. It's in there good. Alright, and they give us this one and a plug. So we're going to use the plug up here because we're going to run it. We got a vacuum block on the fender well. That vacuum block, everything runs off of it, and we just have that one hose coming off right there for it. Alright, we got that one Tefloned up. Put that one in there. Now we're just going to take these out for now. Flip it over and put these gaskets in right there. Alright, these ones are not cut to fit. Again, same thing. Just push them up in the grooves. And those actually push in there far enough to stay. But then they stick out just enough to seal. Yeah, just enough to seal on the heads. Alright, there we go. They're all on and pushed down in there. And it's still sticking out enough to seal on the head. Well, look at that. I missed the hole. There was one in each side. We plugged that one. We're going to have to get another plug for this side. Alright, let's go ahead and take this ugly truck intake off. Unplugged everything that went to the intake. The hose that goes up to our vacuum block. The hose for the wastegate pressure that came off this side over here. Now we're just, the fuel rails. Now we're just loosening up the intake bolts across through there. 5 on each side. Alright, there we go. Truck intake off. Now we'll just go ahead and throw the BTR one on there. Make sure we don't get in the way of none of the wires. Alright, we got our cinch down. Just looking around, making absolutely sure we didn't get any wires. Looks good to me. Now we can torque her down per the directions. 89 inch-pounds. And this start in the middle and go out. Chewy, it looks good in there. Look at the difference in these throttle bodies. Stock and pow. But they didn't send no bolts with that. So taking these out. I don't even know what size that is. See if we can see. Five 30-seconds. Works pretty good. Those have got like a little bolt on the end of them. I screwed that out. Unfortunately, that one's only got 3. That one's got 4. But I got another truck intake in there. I can take one out of. Well, we've run into a problem. This right here, on there, like that right there, I'm gonna hit the water pump snout. You can run the LS1 water pump. The problem is our bracket won't work anymore. We'll have to buy like $80 spacers and a LS1 water pump, and then we'll have to cut these spacers so this will still work for us. We'll have to cut all them spacers down however far the spacer is to push the water pump out. And there is a special throttle bracket that you have to buy for this, and special fuel rails we have to buy. Alright, so I ordered the 0.7000 7/10 of an inch spacer that brings the water pump out. This is the truck water pump. So we're gonna have to switch to the LS1 water pump. And the reason why is because the LS1 water pump would have the water neck coming out right here. See, if it was coming out right here, it would clear all that. And plus it would clear this belt. But yeah, ordered a plug. ordered the throttle body bracket, I ordered the fuel rails, and then I ordered the spacer to move these out. Took the water pump out. That throttle body fits on there now. That's a monster, man. That's a monster throttle body. Well, something else I figured out. This is the stock nut. It won't fit because it's got that washer top looking thing on, whatever they call that. But yeah, it won't fit on there because the washer looking part of the nut hits the throttle body. All right, got some nuts for the throttle body because it's so tight in there. These stock top washer nuts wouldn't fit. And I can't even get a socket on those, so I might have to do a wrench. And this one, I'm gonna have to take the idle air control off just to tighten it. All right, throttle body's on. All hooked up. Boop, boop. All right, so I was just checking something on these. Make sure the bolts wasn't gonna be too long. I cut these down because here's the LS1 water pump. I found this one for 20 bucks off a guy I know. Now see, those two bolt holes are the same as where they're at on the truck one. So if we space that out 0.7 inches, we had to take 0.7 off of these to, you know, make that shorter. This bolt right here should be the exact same because it went to the head. But these bolts were almost too long, but you can see even after shaving them down, I can't get them in there, so they're just the perfect size. But yeah, I cut these down 0.7 inches. So I'll just have to clean it up a little bit. Yay, we got parts. We got the throttle bracket. We got the water pump spacers. Oh, actually, this is the coupler. This is the coupler from that pipe to the throttle body. This is the throttle bracket. And this is the water pump spacer to give us truck spacing off an LS1 water pump. And this is our fuel rail. Let's go ahead and toss this water pump on for reals. For reals, man. All right, we'll put those on there just like that right there. Be a gasket, the spacer, and then a gasket on the end. It comes with longer bolts for you. And it comes with this little hole. You can put a nipple here, or it comes with a 1/8 inch MPT plug to plug it. But you can run your steam pipe, your head steam pipe, over to that port. And we're going to put it right there. I'm not sure if we're going to use it just yet or not. That's why I left it open. But let's try to hold all this together. Put that on there all at the same time. All right, that's on there. Leave there. Clears everything good. I don't know if we're going to use that plug hole and just loop that around or keep it where we had it. We had it in stream with this upper radiator hose. And I was hoping it would get these far away from this V-band that we could run that rubber loop, but it's not. So I'm going to have to tap and plug those again like we had on this one right here. That's the truck one. See where that neck come up, it was hitting our throttle. Let's drop some injectors in there and put the fuel rails on. Look, it come with 3 different sizes. I actually had extenders on these injectors. We probably don't need those. All right, so with the injector extenders, them right there, these were too long and these were too short. But without the extenders, the short one looks like it's going to fit just right. So we'll put the short ones on there without the extenders. All right, I went ahead and put the brackets on, and they've got like a little groove where they stay, where you put them. Then we'll drop this in here. Now, I don't like the way that bottom O-ring fits so loosely in this intake, but we'll know if we have a vacuum leak pretty quick. And that should line the holes up. It does. And we'll stick the nuts through that way, or the bolts, and then we'll have to put a nut on the back side. And that'll do it. They fit. Once it pushes that down. That O-ring don't fit very good in the bottom, but if you push it down, it's going to seal. That O-ring will seal up on top of the injector, and it'll seal in the bottom of the top of the intake there. But oddly enough, I don't see nuts for them bolts we just put in. I don't see no bolts, so we'll have to figure that out. So looking at the directions, there's clearly supposed to be a nut on those. And these brackets, when they go on, there's a slanted side. The slanted side goes just like it shows there. But yeah, we're missing those nuts, 4 nuts. We got the bolts, we just don't have the nuts. Oh, and also the directions will tell you what length bracket will work for what injectors. So the short one, LS3, LS7, LS9, I believe ours are LS3 injectors. The medium one, LS2, and the tall one, LS1s. That's all done. We got the throttle back bracket on, and it fits a little crooked, but I went in there and hit the gas 100 times, and it don't come out of that groove. And it does go wide open throttle. We checked that. My cousin and a buddy of his came over to get some parts they needed for a 6.0 build. But yeah, what are we going to do now? Oh yeah, so this doesn't line up now because it was up higher. So we're just going to cut a little bit off this and see if we can get it to line up. All right, I just cut about, I don't know, a couple inches off of that. That's it right there. And it fits perfect. All right. So we're going to flare this in. Go ahead and button that up. Then we just need to find something to do with this radiator hose. And I had a bunch of this hose left over from what I ordered for a truck. That should curve straight up just like that. And then just connect them right there. Yes, yes. All right, there we go on the radiator hose. That looks good. Look at that. Fits like a glove. But on that head steam port hose, I decided to go there. We'll just loop it around and right down there. Just like that right there. And then on this one, I just plugged it with an 1/8 inch MPT. And we also got to plug that hole. I got a plug on order. Plug on order, nuts. Figure out a new way for our bottom port for our wastegates turbo pressure going in. We might have to tap a hole right here or something. All right, put that plug in there. We should have it enough to start it. Ain't got no water in it. Just can't run it much, but let's see what it does. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those regular nuts off. I bought some locking nuts. Put locking nuts on the fuel rail for our wastegate pressure. I'm just going to come off right here. You should do it as close to the turbo as you can. But oh well, whatever. Before, I was just using the PVC clean air in off the throttle body. So it'll be fine. I'm just going to drill and tap 1/8 inch MPT and put one of these in there and just run it from here to the bottom of the wastegates on both sides. And then Need to hook the alternator up. It's not hooked up. Need to readjust the belt. It's too close right there. And then I just need to tap and plug these and put the thermostat in it and put some coolant in it. That's going to about do it. Y'all, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Equalizer intake, woo woo.